So, it would appear that this Red Heifer saga that's been going on in Israel for a while now is actually nothing but a bunch of bull. So, we're actually going to start off with this Breaking Points coverage of the National Day of Prayer and Repentance that the now Speaker Mike Johnson was a part of, where, if you're not familiar, there is a group of people connected to the Temple Institute that wants to bring about the building of the third temple. They believe that this will bring the Messiah. It's just as likely that it'll bring about the Antichrist, but I guess we're in a wait-and-see pattern.
So here's Byron Stinson at that event.
You're going to be extremely excited what you're about to hear now as we go into this portion on Israel. I have two good friends out here with me, Byron Stinson and Rabbi Isaac Mamo. And I'm going to have them start immediately by telling the story of the Red Heifers. These are the men who are at the epicenter of what's happening with the Red Heifers. This story, Byron is an evangelical Christian from Texas. Saki Mamo is an Orthodox Jew from Jerusalem. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. How are you? If we're going to the next slide, what we see here are the red heifers necessary for the Messiah to come. Well, let me ask you something. When Israel was scattered for 2,000 years in the land, was it necessary that Israel, Judah, the tribe of Judah, the lion, would return to the land? Was that necessary? Is it necessary that on the temple mountain of God, that there be a temple, that we worship him there, as it says in Micah 4? Is that necessary that we build the land? The first step on the red heifers is that we are going to move towards building that temple. This is the first step, and it has to happen. Friends, I want to tell you, all of you in the nations, you need to know something. God had a plan. He put his people, Judah, into the nations to suffer because they didn't obey him. Here we are today. We're seeing today we're doing the same thing. But thankfully, we have leaders in Judah that love us. They've reached across to us, and they want to help lead us. And they're reading their word, and they're reading their Bible. And in the Bible, it says, find a red heifer. So they called me, and I didn't go find a red heifer for me. I found the red heifer for every one of you.
And just in case it's not obvious, Byron Stetson is a businessman. That sounds very businessman-y. I didn't find these red heifers for me. I found them for you. I'm just getting paid a lot of money to do it. Now, there are, I'll leave links to the Breaking Points as well as the original, like they did a 5-hour prayer thing. It's all on YouTube, and there's another article about the sort of financial side of this, which is really interesting. But you notice that he says Judah, not Israel. What do you think about that? I've done several other videos on this, and I do think it is very important to understand what God is doing, as I believe the ministry of Jesus essentially is fulfilling Ezekiel 37. The northern kingdom of Israel, the southern kingdom of Judah come together in one kingdom. It's a new kingdom. It's a multicultural kingdom. It really brings in the nations. But right there, he said it was Judah doing that, and that our leaders are in Judah, and it's the Lion of the tribe of Judah. And it's just a very interesting phrasing when majority of the conversation is sort of nebulous. It's just Israel this, Israel that. But there he specifically said Judah, and I thought that was really interesting. So we'll listen to Rabbi Mamo here for a second, and then we'll move on to some other coverage about the red heifers.
This part that has not been discussed publicly in any venue, we have to have land, and that land has to be at a certain elevation and a certain location. And what is that?
By Numbers 19, again, we have to read the Bible, we have to read the Torah, and to see. It's written that it had to be at the front of the Holy of the Holy.
However, buying land there is impossible, because if an Arab Muslim sells to a Jew, he or she gets killed. So that's hardly an option. But somehow, God supernaturally helped you buy what?
Piece of land. Don't ask me why, don't ask me how. And specific, don't ask me why I succeed. I don't know. I just say a miracle, okay? Not any other explanation. As you can see here, this is a photo from the mountain, okay? So it's at the same level of the temple. It's the front of the holy place. So we have the cows, we have the land. We are ready.
The Israeli government approved you to bring your 5 pets, which you never kept in your front yard like most people do.
And so here we have the article. It's from Israel 365 News. Temple Institute announces all Texas red heifers disqualified. Again, I will leave the link. It did, I think in this article, it talk about the financial side of it, or at least from this article, I was able to explore some of the financial side of this it's sort of a business transaction. Let's just be honest. But after this was announced that the red heifers were disqualified, you actually got a appearance by, gosh, what's this guy's name? Adam King on Timcast, where he said, no. Actually, they only said they were disqualified so that then they could do the ritual in secret, or sort of, again, no machinations going on here, no shell games going on here. It's just that we said that they were all disqualified, but they really weren't. We were able to do the sacrifice. And so he has been covering this. I'll play a clip from Timcast here. And again, let me know what you think about all of this. Are people just doing this? I'm sitting here making a video of it. Is it for clicks or whatever? I think as you listen to Adam King, I believe I got his name right. Remember what Francis Schaeffer said. He says, the Antichrist who is coming is not the anti-non-Christ. He will look and sound like Christ. He will even mislead people away from true faithfulness to Christ. So it's not like the Antichrist is this ghoulish figure. The Antichrist is going to look like a type of Christ. So there's a false Christ or a false temple or false worship going on that all has the appearance of true worship and a true Messiah. So again, I would appreciate some feedback at this point if you're still hanging out with me at this point in the video. Thank you for your feedback. Share this video with your friends, like, comment, do all that stuff. But let's listen to what Adam King said. Again, after the announcement was all red heifers have been disqualified.
Adam, you came in and you have a story to break about the red heifer.
Right.
Could you go ahead and elaborate on that, please?
Right. So this was a big thing over at InfoWars and on the dissident right media. About a month ago on July 1st, there was an announcement that they were going to do a practice run of the red heifer. Prior to this, the media outrage that the Jews were going to go do this red heifer, you had these lunatics like Stu Peters and others who were saying, this is going to usher in the Antichrist, blah, blah, blah. And it was like a real big media balagan. It was really a bad twist. And also the government wasn't going to let them. So what they did was they said, we're just going to do a practice one with one of the 5 disqualified cows. The government said, okay, whatever. They ended up going out, doing a real cow. It was a real offering. They did it all by the laws. And I have with me some of the ashes right here, red heifer ashes. It's pretty incredible. The red heifer, the last time that the red heifer was done was over 2,000 years ago. The first time it was done by Moses. The second time it was done by Ezra from the book in the Bible. So a pure red heifer doesn't come about all the time. And in this generation, we had 21 of them that were born. Pure. They picked 7 to bring to Israel. And out of the 7, Israel only allowed them to have 5 brought in. And they've been sitting around just doing nothing because the media outrage has been so astronomical about it. But the red heifer people, they fooled everybody. And they successfully performed the ritual about a month ago. Now, in the ritual, you're supposed to have hyssop. I have also hyssop that is from the actual ritual. And also the red heifer ashes. And these get put into a clay jar and then sprinkled on people in a healing ritual. So since this started, they have been sprinkling on people. There was a man with Alzheimer's who just started remembering everything, sight to the blind. There's some real miracles that have happened in the last month since this thing has gone down. But the ashes, just like I have a little bag, there was 10.5 gallons of ashes, and this is only a dime bag full. And these ashes have been disseminated. They're here to stay. They will never be found. So many people have them. And this little bag can power about 10,000 doses.
And so, yeah, again, just the dime bag is going to power 10,000 doses. The businessman from Texas selling a bunch of cows. The whole thing just sort of seems like a hokey business deal that's being drummed up to, encourage more interest. But again, I think that there are forces at work here behind the scenes. And I do think that the danger might be people are ignorant of the forces that they're really engaging with, like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. It's like you don't really know what you're playing with. This is beyond you. C.S. Lewis works this out in That Hideous Strength. You know, the scientists didn't realize that they were actually communing with demons and stuff like that, you know. And so, yeah, there is a real danger that sort of modern reductionist man looks back into the ancient history and thinks we're just playing religious games for the sake of selling, you know, dime bags of ashes. I don't think he's really selling them, but, you know, making a profit off of cows and things like that. Yeah, you really don't know what you are messing with at that point. So yeah, a little bit of caution there, a little less hubris there would probably go a long way. So yeah, I've done several other videos. If you're not familiar with what I do on this channel, thank you for being here at the end. You can give the channel a look through here on YouTube. I've done a few other videos just covering kind of the Antichrist and the nature of 666 and things like that. Some of it appears on Joe Rogan. Some of it appears in clips like this, Timcast or news or whatever. It's not a huge theme on my channel, but you can look through the channel and pick anything that you think is interesting. And again, thank you for being here, and I will catch you in the next one.